I said it that the North will start a very deadly campaign against the presidency of Tinubu. And it is clear because the North are eager to go back into the power. This has always been the case since 1999. We all saw how the North, at 2003, the likes of Rimi, the likes of Buhari, did everything to topple the presidency of Obasanjo. But yes, because Obasanjo was a man of steel, he didn't cower and he was not conquered. You will recall that it was when we were about to go into the 2003 election that we started having Boko Haram surface. Boko Haram was originated in 2002, right there in Maiduguri. Boko Haram they were like a group of religious fanatics. They were just basically these people who wanted to have their own community, who didn't want to have anything to do with Western education and civilization. And they were there in Maiduguri, where they got all the support they needed from the community. Quickly watch this video of what they did to Tinubu in Katsina. Then we'll continue the conversation. Welcome back. You see there the posters of Tinubu that have been currently hung on all the streets of Katsina right now have been burnt down. In fact, the North are saying that in the next 1 year they will not allow Tinubu to come and campaign. That Tinubu now is a persona non grata in Kaduna. That they will not be a part of a government that have impoverished them. These are their claims. They say that Tinubu must, if Tinubu cannot guarantee their security within a space of 2 years to 3-4 years, that indeed Tinubu must go. I agree. Tinubu has failed in that. But you will fail as a Southerner listening to me if you think it is because of insecurity these northern Arewa youths are protesting aggressively. I will explain the agenda to you. First and foremost, the agenda is not insecurity that they are against. Don't forget their son, who just completed 8 years, who in fact comes from Daura in Katsina State. Couldn't in 8 years, this was a former military general who couldn't stop the insecurity in Katsina State, and there was never a time that we saw this open, high level, well, populated protest. Right? There was never a time that we saw them come out to say that people are being killed in Katsina. Buhari, you are this, you are that. You have to stop this high level of insecurity in your community, even if you cannot solve the one in Maiduguri, but Katsina, Daura that you come from, you have to solve it. The time that Nigerians came out to protest against Buhari, the North, in their multitude, they said, we will not join the End SARS protest because it is a protest to kick out a northern president. In this today, I said that what we have going on in the south, in Katsina rather, is a protest to kick out a southern president so that they can clinch back to power. You see, I have listened to so many of my subscribers. Some of them are now calling me Tinubu spokesperson. I am not, if you have been following me, I am not in any way in support of Tinubu. I don't even want him to go for a second term. In the second time, I want someone like Showore or Obi to go in there. But I know that if a Showore goes there, Showore will do every details of my demand, which is restructure, have a new constitution, because he have the bravery and he have the mindset. And he will have the capacity to governize the youth. But putting that aside, as a Southerner, you have to see that in 2027, we have to be deliberate with our decisions. All right? Because there are two decisions that we have to take. In 2027, the North must be provoked not to get the power, because their intention is to get back into that position and break all the new things that Tinubu is doing, which is like demystifying the northern powers. Listen, Tinubu is not doing anything economically, but what Tinubu is telling us is the North actually are not the real power brokers of Nigeria. It is indeed the South, and because the South have never been united, that is why we see the North as the power brokers. And when I talk about the North, I mean the core North, not the Middle Belters. Right? They have seen that. You will see that the series of meetings just some days ago, in fact, it is less than 24 hours. All the Northerners met with their traditional rulers, where they had all their revered and high-ranking kings and emirs and serikis, as they are called. What do you think will be their conversation there? Of course, I saw what they wrote on the media, commending Tinubu in tackling insecurity. Which insecurity Tinubu don't tackle? Hypocrisy of the highest order. Which insecurity has Tinubu tackled? But they didn't go without mentioning that Tinubu must do everything to stop the marginalization of the North. I say, hey, marginalization. As Nigeria is structured today, who them born where make it marginalize the North? You see, what they do not want is make person come to open the eye of everybody for this country. Middle belts, their eye don't open koro. You don't open koro like ow. You know ow when head the tongue 180 degrees like this. Your eye don't open, you don't clear. So many people are saying they are against Tinubu's establishing a university in Southern Kaduna. They are saying that establishment of university is a divisive agenda. Then why would Tinubu go and establish a university in Southern Kaduna? Are you getting me? They even said that why should there be a Southeast Development Commission? Why should there be a North Central Development Commission? So when you see protests like this that I showed you in that video, that Katsina youth are hungry, that Tinubu came, he this, that, let me tell you, me, I won't make them provoke. I don't know about you. Dele Faro to me said something this morning. I will show you the video again. Evidence day, receipt day. Dele Faro to me said that the only way forward in this country now make we sit down, talk to ourselves the truth. Say, Oga, Oginikwa. In China, they have over 100 tribes. However, there's a tribe that have just 2,000 people as their population. Yet they are protected. In Nigeria, where we will have a wicked that will come out and say that the Ijaws are minority. Chineke name na Kwagidia. Wike came out and said that the Ijaws are minority, that they should keep quiet, that because when he was frustrating Fubara, he said that if Fubara is impeached, nothing will happen and heaven will not fall. Are you getting my gist? This is why I said Nigeria must provoke those that don't want us to have the country that we dream of. Who are the people fighting Simon Ekpa? Who are the people fighting Nnamdi Kanu? Is it the Ijaw people? Is it the Yoruba people? We know them. We know them. So let's watch what let's watch it together, by the way.
Explaining the exact problems that we have has been structural. If you have the right set of rules governing relationship in a society, and the enforcement of the law is even-handed, it becomes possible for disparate persons to live together at peace. But with the lies upon which Nigeria has been erected, the many lies that we have told ourselves institutionalized and turned into law, Like, for instance, the one where they are currently turning local governments into autonomous units as if they are federating entities. These are the lies that we need to confront as a collective. I need us to understand there are 56 officially recognized ethnic groups in China. 56. The Han constitutes 900 million of the 1.4. A people known as Shen, I don't know if that's how they pronounce it, there are only 2,200 of them. But Chinese laws are sufficiently robust to protect the 900 million Han and to protect the 2,200 Shen. It is about the rule of law holding together the fabric of a society that is not as homogeneous as you would like to believe. China has 302 living languages being spoken actively within its border, and only 70% of the people speaks Mandarin, in spite of the centuries they've had to integrate. The only reason they are able to live together as one is because they have evolved laws that recognizes the equality of human beings. India has 705 ethnic groups. The 2027 that all the politicians are running towards will mark the 30th year since that road had been under reconstruction. If that is how the rest of the world have been praying and expecting infrastructure to appear because of their prayers, China will not be where it is today, neither would India or the Emirates or any of the countries that have evolved and developed whilst we've been praying. The United Arab Emirates is as Islamic as it gets, and I doubt that you're going to be any more Islamic than the Saudi Arabia. But those who are raising to take Nigeria to their Islamist Republic of Afghanistan do not look to the Saudis or the Emiratis or the Gulf Arabs or the Egyptians for their own inspiration. They look to Kabul. They look to Kabul, where we are told to pray. The stubborn truth is that a country that is prepared to spend 90 billion to subsidize Hajj, only God knows how much they are spending to subsidize trips to Israel, Jordan, in the name of Christian pilgrimage, does not have money for scholarships abroad, even for courses that it has no competencies in. The stubborn truth is that countries are not built like this. Simply not done. It is simply not done.
A northern senator has come out to defend what we have today as the bandits in the north. He has come out to lay claim that the reason or that the force driving their children in the north to join the banditry is because they feel marginalized. It's because these children feel they have not had a share of the national dividends. That what the militants had between the period of 2008 to 2010, when we had the amnesty for the Niger Deltans, that the northern people, the northern youths feel they have not had their own share, hence the reason why they join the Boko Harams, the ISWAPs, so that when they move in a revolutionary way, when they disrupt the internal security of the nation, that maybe, just maybe, the Nigerian government will listen, cower, and give them their rightful share, just as they have done to the likes of Asari Dokubo, Tompolo, and co. It was claimed that today Asari Dokubo and Tompolo, amongst their gangs, they have a contract to monitor the national oil pipelines, where they are being paid a sum of 4 billion on a monthly basis. That they in the north, who predominantly go into the Nigerian armed forces, have never gotten such an amnesty program. Hence, their children go into what we call banditry. That it is not illiteracy. That indeed, it is not because they do not go to school. That it is not because these children are basically being radicalized, as we all know, even at the Arabic schools. That those are not the reasons. That it is not even the agenda of Islamization that so many people in the middle belt, and of course in the south and southeast, always parrot everywhere that it is Islamization agenda. That no, that force driving those children is marginalization. I'm going to show you that video, right? Let's watch it together.
I am scared whether the safety of the Nigerian civilian within the Nigerian territorial land can be guaranteed.
Okay, welcome back. You see them telling you that at this stage they cannot guarantee the security of the internal structure of Nigeria. That at this rate, that in Nigeria, if care is not taken, might run out of ideas. They might run out of the capacity to restrain these people, because they are joining the bandit groups in droves because they feel marginalized. I went into the history and I decided to have some research done. And I found out that between the period of 2010-2011, there were very famous northern elites and leaders, and in fact traditional rulers and leaders, who came out and said that the Boko Harams are not terrorists, but again, these are freedom fighters for the emancipation of the North. They indeed went ahead and said that if the militants of Niger Delta cannot be categorized as terrorists, then why should their sons, the Boko Harams, the ISWAPs, that why should they be categorized as terrorists? That what they are simply, what their growls and grievances is marginalization from having a share to the dividends, just as the Niger Delta youths who enjoyed a very robust amnesty program under the regime of Yaradua and Jonathan's regime. You see, this level of hypocrisy is why we come out and say that, yes, the North